factor in this is, of course, going to be that knife round because, as we know, the third map, the sides are determined by the knife round. So winning that one out, getting the opportunity to choose your starting side, that could be a pretty big boon, a pretty big feather in their cap.
Yeah, and as we have just been told from in-air, that SAW actually won the knife round. I'm not sure which side they decided on, but I'm sure we'll be able to see in a moment. There we go. So they've spit, you know, they picked CT side.
There you have it. Not a terrible place to start on, all things considered. I'm going to take a quick squiz at their stats. And, well, yes, a 55% win rate on CT, overwhelmingly higher. Not really. It's like a percentage higher than their T side. They're just pretty good on this map, all things considered.
I have to wait and see what they're going to be able to do on this one. Default buys for both sides. Lots of armor inside of CT. Very little utility. Initial damage going to be coming out. Twist are going to get tagged down. They are going to be looking to push up over towards Banana. Currently, one person is holding that. But the rotation has happened from the CTs. They have done it quite quietly, so it's not going to be as expected. The nades are going to be coming out. They're doing absolutely zero work. And now they're going to be pushing. The counter nades going to be coming through, doing a lot of damage to two of the players. And now we're going to be seeing just on sight. Managed to get the first kill. Second one, he's going to make quick work of. Gets the bomb planter, stops it, denies it, gives his team even more time to be able to try and deal with these guys. The bomb is now going to be going down their coffins, but anarkez is going to get that down. Mutu's right above. He slaughters them. 3K. The man went huge in the first round on Vertigo. He does it once again.
Well, I find it interesting. So Just does a pretty good job along with the rest of the CTs there, just to kind of hold down the line, waiting for, I believe it was multikill and Arky to rotate it. It's like, come on guys, we just gotta hold it down. We can do this. And multikill arrives, and there you go, in true hero fashion, a little bit of cleanup, and he's apparently the hero of the round. I just hate how that happens. But it is a very good start here. I'm curious to see if the train continues though, because we have seen whenever SAW is on CT, they lose the first pistol. And then Finest win. Oh, but they didn't really force up terribly here. They did. Obviously, three of their players have spent a little bit, but it's far less than what we'd seen on previous maps. So this could still go in SAW's favor. We could see a break in the pattern.
Yeah, Team Finest, though, they have got an AK and a glue on their board. I would honestly give the advantage over towards Team Finest in this lineup of weapons. Although they don't have head armor on one of their players, so their shocks could be in a little bit of trouble. But honestly, those MP9s are super dangerous. The boost over towards long could come out. multikill could help out his teammate, but instead, he's going to go sit in that corner with the MP9, acting as a bit of a backup. The smoke's going to be coming out. This is where they have to make a change. multikill's going to be rotating on over towards the actual A site. No, gonna hold on over towards A long for now. It seems like it's a little bit of a fake out. Utility is so important on the CT side, and having this extra just incendiary grenade is going to help massively. Just deny and just do that initial damage. You can straight right see it right there. Forces their hand to be able to back up, but CTs, they've overplayed the hand, rotating a little bit too much over towards the B side. I can tell why they would do that, but at the same time, multikill, he's going to have to hold on towards CT a little bit well here. There is still a smoke on side of Kriyaz. If that smoke goes down towards, that's fantastic, but it doesn't. But the counter, the trade-off comes through. Plessin is going to be able to get the kill there. And the MAC-10 and the AK just going to be coming out and dropping down onto them and getting the kills. SAW, unfortunately, not able to hold on to this site well enough. And we're going to be seeing Team Finest get the first round, well, their first round on the board, which is going to be the second round. And, I mean, I did give them the advantage on this side. They had the weapons, and you know what? They had the players as well. A little bit too much of an over-rotation from SAW.
Yeah, a little disappointing to see how quickly they decided to make that rotation. We do know that Finest have from time to time done a few fakes, but that hasn't really been their MO throughout this entire series. That's been more kind of SAW's thing, where they'll make a little bit of noise and then move over onto one of the other sites. But this is, of course, just the start of this map, and SAW giving themselves a moment to kind of get the feel for things. Again, this is pretty much to pattern. It's what we've seen over the course of all three maps. SAW get the pistol, Finest win against the bonus by forcing a little bit of their own. And now we get to see, we've had two instances. The first instance was Finest win the second round and then just steamroll through. And then we saw the instance of where SAW lose the second round and then just immediately bring it back in their favor. Unfortunately, in this round, they have very little to utilize. So, once again, I think that Finest kind of faked a little bit here in this one.
We are going to be seeing a nice aggressive push down banana. This is exactly what I wanted to see from them with their limited utility and ability in regards to weapons. They only have two, one SMG and a twist push through, but unfortunately for him, he's going to get absolutely slammed by his counterpart here. So that are going to be able to get the kill, but he's going to burn alive. Thankfully, his teammate's finally going to deliver that smoke, but a little bit too late. Just also going to take a little bit of damage here through the smoke. And we're going to be seeing advantage over towards this other side, so we're going to be starting into this smoke next to these players. And anarkez is going to be able to find the kill as well. No, never mind. It is going to be the grenade on from one of his teammates. So they're going to be down to an M4 and a couple of deagles here. Man advantage is going to be on the side of the team at Finest. They should be able to make or turn this into a 3 versus 2 or 2 versus 1 scenario on one of these sites, but they are playing a little bit of a split 2-2 rotation of the bomb up towards it. It's playing very carelessly, and they're gonna get punished for it. I'm going to call it out, and the second headshot, Rome picks them up. Arky as well with another one of his own. They're going to be able to recover the weapons on this front as well. And anarkez is going to be left alone. His position is over towards the other side, and now they have bomb control and man advantage and the weapons. There's just no way he's going to be able to recover from this easily. 20 seconds. The round is over, and unfortunately for Team Finest, it's not going to go in their favor, but anarkez is still going to try for this. He realizes he has to do absolutely everything he can to stop them from taking these guns through, but even then, he's just going to back off.
So what I'm getting from this is you cast the bless and I cast the curse. You're like, oh, Team Finest are favored, and they win the round. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, Team Finest are favored, and they just get absolutely mowed down. But this is a good round from SAW, all things considered. I mean, they came into this with next to nothing. And they managed to work that in their favor, crack themselves a nice little opening, and win themselves the third round. And this was a pretty important round to win, but unfortunately it hasn't done terribly much to affect Finest economically. You know, they managed to maintain one of the AKs from the previous round. They've bought up quite a few. They've got a deagle as well. We know how terrifying deagles can be. SAW, obviously, a little bit to work with here as well, but one of their players, not too great in that department.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that Rome did a fantastic job there with the deagle, delivering for his team. I will say, I think it was Plesson who had the bomb traveling up mid, just very carelessly. Just had, I think, his knife out the whole time, which, you know, makes sense. As fast as you can, but in the meantime, we're going to be seeing the MAC-10 taking down Plesson, the man I was just talking about. But he unfortunately dropped the bomb in there. Weapons, but Rome delivered with those shots with the deagle. That was just absolutely beautiful to be able to see. But SAW, they need to get as many kills as they can here with that MAC-10 to get as much money as possible. We're going to be seeing it. Roman and Arky completely flashed out. They do have to be a little bit careful here over towards the A site, as we do have Kriaz in the apartments looking to play for the drop down position. Incendiary grenades, and the grenade's going to be coming out, trying to cause a little distraction. Be over towards the long side. He's going to get taken out. Fantastic flash. Actually from one of the players there. It's actually from his own teammate, unfortunately, screwing him over. And now over towards short, we do have a couple of players there looking to take full advantage of this. It's going to be a difficult situation. Roman's going to be left in a 1 versus 3 situation by himself. Finally, a player's going to join him over towards the bomb. It goes down, twist, and anarkez get the kill. Finally, we might be seeing Team Finest wake up, and CTs have to back off.
I mean, that was rough for SAWMUTiRiS because we saw like an ungodly amount of utility coming from his team towards where he was. And you start to think, well, they're trying to kind of watch his back. They're trying to give him the opportunity to slip away if he needs to, because he's in a very rough spot there on his own. And unfortunately, it doesn't work the way they wanted to. He gets flashed out and he gets taken down. And that was a pretty important person that needed to stay alive. I mean, we've said it a few times, SAWMUTiRiS is consistently one of the best players on this SAW roster. So for him to go down really, really early on in the round, they've taken away a lot of that firepower, and they used a lot of their utility to put him in a position where he can get taken out. So that's some of that utility gone, and you've lost one of your top players. So bit of a misstep there from SAW, and it is unfortunate because they have been looking really good for the most part. As you mentioned, we even things out a little bit here. And because it's been so back and forth, I find the economy very, very interesting, because it's very seldom that you see it go this back and forth. And thankfully for Finest, you know, they're still in a pretty decent spot, all things considered. But SAW find themselves dire straits.
it's definitely an interesting one, like you're saying, sort of going back and forth. It's really brutal. I mean, you have a look at the loss bonus right there on top. It's 1.9k to SAW each round currently when they lose this, or 1.4 to finest. So it can definitely go either way on this front in regards to swings and roundabouts, but Team Finest do have advantage in regards to guns and economy right now, so they have every chance to be able to run away with this. And Inferno, I know it can be notorious for qualities, just being able to run away with the rounds. So we're going to have to wait and see what they're going to do. Early smoke up the top of Banana, looking to gain control of this as they realize that was actually a mistake they made before, allowing the CTs to gain control. And, oh, Twist takes 2 grenades almost anyway, but doesn't quite manage to get the kill on him. But they made a mistake of allowing the CTs to control this before. They're not going to do it again. So we're going to be on the players with a rifle over towards B this time. Kriaz looking out for Roman, saying, nope, no more headshots from you for Deagle. And he actually has an so no more Deagles for him anyway. Plesson on overwards towards B, checking out smoke. Look at the counter smoke going to work beautifully from the CT side, and it's just going to cause a nice delay. And they're all currently over towards Banana. This information isn't out from the side for the side of SAW though, so they still have to play a little bit patiently. Ideally, they want to have one person starting to rotate, but the incendiary grenade and the utility going to be jumping out here. 3 smokes, 3 Molotovs coming out, smokes included, flashes as well, but sAW going to get the first kill. Second one can't come through. Plesson's going to be pushing away on his side, clearing it out. Justin's going to get taken down in the smoke there, and unfortunately, just through the smoke, Plesson, stop it. He's going to get a kill onto Arky. SAWMUTiRiS trying to do what he can here, but really, the round results have been written here. You just have to try and save your weapons. They don't have the economy to be able to try and counter with this. He's going to hang around here, waiting for someone to walk into his crosshairs.
I liked seeing that Finest were taking a more map control-centric approach. This is something that I really liked watching them do in the first couple of rounds. Okay, yeah, you are kind of teetering back and forth in terms of economy, so you can't necessarily always make the same decisions that you would make when you come in with a strong buy. But this time around, they push out way across the map. They managed to get a little bit of information for themselves before committing. And then as they pull away from the A side, they actually starve a lot of information from SAW. I mean, you said it. They hadn't actually clocked that it was going to be a full push through Banana onto the B site. So unfortunately, because they didn't have that information available, and I mean, we saw the sheer amount of utility, and it was pretty standard, exactly where all of those mollies were landing to ensure that they could clear all of those angles, get themselves in onto the site and get control of it. But when you have that much firepower coming in at you, and you're at a person disadvantage on the site because the rotations haven't come through yet, yeah, really difficult to come back from that. You have to really play passively and wait for your team, and Finest wasn't allowing that to happen. As you said, taking control of the space where they hadn't necessarily done it previously. And they were seeing the same thing, you know, a really good default across the map, trying to garner that information before committing.
Molly's going to be going out, but the counter smokes as well. CTs, the sprays going to be coming through. They're going to be able to get the kills as well. Really well played by their side, but unfortunately for them, they're going to go down, and anarkez is going to be able to get an easy 3k over towards the B site, and that's going to allow the complete control, and that is round pretty much for the side of Team Finest. I'm not sure where Extra is, but hopefully we can get that back in a moment from the observer, but it'd be nice to be able to see all the information we need to as viewers. But Roman, it's an impossible task. I don't think you even bother really trying to go for this. Don't even bother going for extra frags. Just try to stay alive in this front. They've got very little money in the bank. They're gonna get some round loss, like extra round loss bonus in this front, but it's not going to be a huge amount.
Yeah, I mean, to come back from this one, I spoke about the back and forth nature of the first few rounds and how that really had a huge detriment for SAW, and they're still kind of recovering from that. I think that once we get them into a more solid, stable position, then maybe we start to see things swing again. But right now, you know, Finest, they know that they have the advantage, and they're doing so well to press that at every available opportunity. So they're playing a very dynamic game, which I love to see. They've been defaulting, but they're also kind of, I mentioned that they weren't really bait heavy, and they've been doing that a little bit more, using a bit of utility towards one side and then moving over towards the next. And then they kind of swap up their pace as well. Sometimes they're playing slightly slower, sometimes they're playing a lot faster, and they're constantly changing the game, and SAW is struggling to keep up. And once again, this is, as you mentioned, SAW still not in a great place. that helps, but trades.
Chris is going to be able to get a nice trade off on that front. Just going to get taken down. Definitely there to take this side. The bomb is quite far back, though. They don't have control over it, so we're going to have to see one of the players on the T side go back and pick it up. They're actually going to fall back, going for a bit of rotation. They managed to get one of the kills on CTs, now realizing they have the advantage to be able to push onto one of the sites whenever they wish. And they've still got 1:10 left on the clock, so plenty of time for them to be able to try and clutch this out and win this round and take the 5th round on the board for them. But it's not been super easy. Not like the other games we've seen. It's been back and forth, a very different map compared to Vertigo and Ancient. And the push over towards a site is now going to be coming in tandem, and it's going to be Roman with the first kill. His spot is known. Incendiary Grenade going to be going down. Arcu with the late spray. He had his Incendiary now. He gets 1 kill. But that's all she wrote. Mutra is going to be in a difficult position. He's going to get taken down now. It's going to be a 1 versus 1 clutch situation. Sadodo going to see what he can do here. He's made his way over towards the A site. No information as to where this last player is specifically. He's somewhere on short. And that information is enough. He's going to be able to clutch it out, gets the kill. Going to be able to pick up an AK for his trouble. No AWPs have been played yet.
Oh, well, as you say, it's Speak of the Devil. What I did find surprising about that CT push to, or rather the T side push towards A, was that they didn't isolate those 2 angles. And you sometimes have to kind of expect that they're possibly going to be holding that angle. They had a little bit of util still available, and instead they just kind of dry peek out. And yes, I mean, it did trade, which is generally a good thing. Generally, trades will favor your T side, but you really wanted to have a bit more manpower. You really wanted to solidify yourself that round. SAW getting around in the bag here, it's a really good boon for them. Still not quite where they want to be, but they're on the right track. And I mean, that round they play it really well to deny a lot of that space. Again, taking advantage of the slight missteps from Finest.
Can't be affording to make any mistakes in this run. If you give SAW an inch, they'll take a mile. As we've seen in some of the other games, execution, or at least a fake over towards A, has come into promise. But this utility play from both sides is actually perfect. They both use utility at the exact same time, but SAW was doing it to counter the push of Team Finest, and it worked very well. But they're now going to have to use the utility absolutely. The players is they're going to go for the spray, but they don't expect just to slide out. Anarkez with the AWP. Finally, the first one's going to be playing here, but the burn is going to come through, and Anarkez is going to feel it. He's going to get taken down. Advantage over towards the way of SAW. They've got one player in Boiler. Arky, hopefully he's not going to be too busy using Incendiary Grenade. He does spot out a play. He's not going to overpeak. He can take that shot, but this trigger discipline is huge. He's now going to turn around. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Doesn't risk it. He's going to be over towards long. He finds one. He's going for the second one. He can't quite make it, though. He's going to get taken down. And now the rotation over towards B is going to happen for their side through CT. And Shox is just playing very comfortably. He's got 19 HP. It's going to be down to Stardado to try and clutch this out. And Molly is going to be coming out. He spots out the player. He is now called for backup. He says, guys, please, I need help here. I can't do it myself. And the kill might come through. Kriya's going to be on low HP. Time goes down. And now they want to kill the T's. Kriya's going to get 0 money. And so Shock, look at that economy. It's going to be bad. Shox is on 800.
Yeah, I was a little skeptical about Roman chilling and Boiler there and not taking the first shot, and then he peeks out a little bit and gets a little bit of damage, and then he completely hides back in again. He doesn't push out. And I wondered about that. You know, maybe he could have made something happen there, but it's actually really smart because he gets the information, he relays it across, they clock the rotation. It does take a little bit before they're able to actually send those reinforcements because they want to be 100% sure. But it works out really well. So keeping that player alive, definitely the right call there, making sure that you're still able to help out the rest of the team towards the end of the round where necessary. And like you said, now SAW in a much more comfortable position, and Finest are definitely on the back foot here. I think it doesn't take a caster to be able to tell you that they're in a rough position. And they'd had a really good start to this, but it's still fairly scrappy. It's still fairly back and forth. We've gone 1-1-1-1, and then we went 2-2. It hasn't been terribly decisive either way here. And bearing in mind, of course, SAW got to pick the starting side. So we want them to be able to build up as much of a buffer as possible, if they want to win this out. And of course, the same is can be said for Finest.
No real consistency in regards to one team being able to dominate. It's always been back and forth, as you were saying. That may well change as we're going forward, but economy on the T side is just absolutely torn apart. sAW's isn't that much better though, even for getting 2 wins back to back. A little bit of damage going to be done there, but it's not really going to be achieving too much. The Shox is still going to have a deagle in hand, looking to get those headshots. Very little utility on both sides. In particular, it's going to be Team Finest, but anarkez doesn't need any utility to go for the hard peaks there, and just gets the frag down. And now the T's having an opening, and they can't afford to let this close down. multikill is going to be over towards site. He's having the last one left, directly on site. Long. He's going to have to try and clutch this out, but it's not going to happen. He's going to get taken down by Sandodo, who's going to be able to get a double kill himself as well. The bomb is on site with the player. Twist gets the kill, and now we're going to have to see if Just can clutch this out. In a 1 versus 3 difficult situation for him. His spot is called out and never mind. Before anything can happen, he falls.
I'm glad to see slightly better util usage here. I mean, I called it out about 2 rounds back where they didn't isolate the 50-50, and they've been doing it they did it in the previous round, and they did it in the round before. And in the previous round, it actually works out really well because they isolate the left side. anarkez swings out, gets a kill over on the right, and immediately they've given themselves a person advantage, and they've given themselves free access to the A site. And again, it just shows how important that utility can be. So now we're seeing a setup over in Banana, but we're also seeing quite a bit of util over on A. So again, we're looking at a potential fake out here as they try to garner a little bit of information. They don't realize it's a gamble stack on B, and the A side is completely free.
Yeah, it's going to be funny watching Team Fires just like, use a lot of utility over towards the A site with no actual need to. They can just take the bomb and run over there if they want. And I'm not sure if they're going to realize what's going on, but they are pushing fairly aggressive towards A, so they should be able to tell in a couple of moments of like, oh, yeah, there's nothing here. We haven't got any kills. Pleasant's probably going to be the key factor to that knowledge. Never mind, Shox is going to be, he enters down in towards the A site, realizes I've not been shot. Guys, I think this is open. So this is going to be fairly open for them to be able to get something. We've got very little purchase coming into this from sAw, but they're also not going to be able to walk away with this with much. And Pleasant might just be able to find himself some quick bank here, which is going to be crucial to try and build up an advantage versus sAw. And this is going to be the 6th round, so once again, another 2 rounds on the board for Team Finest. First kill going to come through, second one as well, but that's going to be a headshot. Pleasant should realize, okay, I've had my shot at the kills. anarkez rather is going to be able to find one crease with the second, and that's going to be the total wipe out there. Good round.
That's somewhat heartbreaking. They, stack all the way over on the B side, the gamble stack, the classic pistol routine. And when the bomb heads over towards A, they don't even have an opportunity to even think about fanning out. The entirety of Finest shows up on their doorstep and mows them down. Now, that was somewhat of a throwaway round. Given the fact that they were gamble stacking, we know that they weren't really realistically oh my god!
Well, Sandodo decided to go for a bit of a YOLO play, and unfortunately the MAC-10 wins over the MP9, especially in that scenario. Just going to be proving how good the MP9 is if he can, but multikill is going to be the first one to get the kill. Peeks out, gets a frag. A bit of a nice trade-off there, but a little bit too late, and it's given a lot of information and advantage over towards the side of Team Finest. And not just guns, but also utility and positioning. They should now be able to take on the A site fairly confidently. Once this first initial utility is gone, there's no more smokes on the side of sAw at all. There's a molly that has just been dropped down, maybe even a flash actually, to one of the players on CT side. Couldn't quite see which one it was, but everything goes down. It's a little bit slow down. 4 players on each side here, Sam. It's about to kick off.
That YOLO peak actually seems more useful than what one might think, because think of how much information was gathered just by YOLOing out there. And yes, it does get traded out, but they realize that there's not much happening over in Banana, so now they can try and fortify A.
Oh, and we're going to be seeing the first damage coming out. Kriaz are going to be on low, and they managed to find another kill as well. Twist going in for the trade versus Roman. Arky has managed to get 1 kill, has to do even more. Twist, unfortunately, finds the kill on him. multikill from long is going to be able to get the counter frag over towards the players on site. Kriaz and anarkez are going to be 1 damage. Is all is needed, but unfortunately there's just no utility left on the side of the CTs. Justice in a perfect position. He finds one, looking to push onto site. multikill and him are going to be able to take this on, and that is going to be the frag and a round. And once again, we're just bouncing back and forth. It's almost like we're playing Pong with the scoreboard here.
You know what? I'm a fan of the YOLO peak. More YOLO peaks. Especially on a round where you know that you don't have terribly much in, so you don't have terribly much to lose, and you know that you're getting, if you do lose, you get a fairly decent bonus. I mean, a 2-round bonus. It's not great, but, you know, it's something in the bag. But they wind up winning it off of the back of some really great information. So, yeah, really well played there. And what I also find really funny is, of course, the first map started out very handedly for Finest, and then so we saw a later comeback in the second half, and then the second map was pretty much SAW dominance, and here we're just seeing back and forth. I mean, these teams, despite Finest being a relatively, I won't say they're a new squad, but they, you know, they've just picked up their last two, so all things considered, they're looking fairly polished. I mean, it's not perfect, but they're doing really well, especially against a team who's been together since forever. This is, realistically, I mean, this is one of the best looks you can have when you've just solidified your 5. They're looking really coordinated. Stop killing the chickens.
Stop bullying them.
I don't understand. It's so sadistic.
Oh man, I love the chickens in this game, but well, let's see if they're going to be able to stay alive. That Incendiary Grenade is going to get completely countered by the smokes, and you know what? That is perfect. If you can waste the utility of the T's this early on, that is great, because that's going to limit, well, never mind, it's still 4 smokes. That allows them to do so much, but even then, 1 smoke can make the difference on this front, so full execution going to be going down right off the bat over towards B, and they're not going to see this coming. Just going to be coming around the corner, but he fails. He misses everything, and now they have the perfect execution over towards the B site. Lots of them are going to get damaged, but no deaths as of yet. Instead, Stardodo has to back off. The Incendiary going to cut him off, but MUTiRiS is going to get a kill on towards Krios through the smoke, and now we're going to have to see a full retake come on through, but Pleasant is going to get a kill himself. MUTiRiS is going to be in a very dangerous situation here, just sitting in the side of the smoke, waiting for his teammates to come through and potentially help him in. Spray through the glass is going to happen, but nothing is going to be found. They left us a little bit too late, and that execution from Team Finest was fantastic. Unfortunately, just as trying to find that peak around the corner just didn't work in their favor at all, and this round is going to go in favor of Team Finest. So finally, we break the continued back and forward, and Pleasant's going to get another kill, down to 23 HP, but they're going to be super happy with that. Just look at the money inside of SAW. They've got nothing to play with.
Again, that is the nature of the back and forth. You know, by winning that round, they break their streak, so they're back down to only 1,400 at the end of the loss, and it's so hard to build yourself back up to that. And, you know, you spoke about Finest execute, and it really does feed back into what I was saying about what a dynamic team they are, how easily they're able to change up their approach from round to round and consistently keep SAW guessing. What on earth is going to be the next? Sorry about that quick break, everyone, but we're jumping straight back into this, and as we've been saying previously, SAW in a bit of a tight spot here. Need to try and make something happen to bring this back around in their favor. We've broken the streak of back and forth, and they've really struggled. They're actually expecting a potential rush up banana, and unfortunately that's not what's happening, with Team Finest consistently changing up their play, changing up what they're doing from round to round. SAW floundering a little bit here, not able to find a footing.
They have to do so much here. Roman's going to be able to find the first kill, but it's going to get traded off by Shox. But Shox is going to be super low. That grenade, if launched a couple of seconds earlier, would have found its mark. But unfortunately, not going to happen. MUTiRiS is going to be over towards long, and anarkez is going to be creeping around the smoke, finding and just gaining access to more and more of this map. And anarkez now has been spotted, so the information is there for these players over towards CT, on CT side rather, and players in CT rather. They now know not to be, you know, play overconfidently here. Please do not peek that with an MP9 versus an AWP. It would be to your demise in most circumstances. The Deagle going to be in a difficult situation. Used a lot of his bullets already. MUTiRiS is holding an angle, trying his best to make sure that they're not going to come over towards him. That shot did work onto Pleasant, but now the second one comes through, gets the kill. He has to hit the head, or at least the body, on this other player up towards balcony. It's not going to happen, though. Shox is going to be able to get the kill. anarkez is going to be holding over towards long. Doesn't see the player to his right. He is dead. That's going to be two MP9s. Really well played. Second kill coming in. 1v2 situation. Shox has to find both of these in quick succession. It doesn't happen. SAWMUTiRiS, he's going to be able to do it himself, and hopefully they pick up the AWP that is over towards long, and it's going to happen. Yeah. And this time we see the first AWP on the CT side.
That was great. I love the angle being held there. You know, you're kind of keeping anarkez's attention, because anarkez knows that he can't turn away, because if he does, he's likely going to get shot in the back. And to try and turn around and get that kill when you have an AWP, I mean, a player like him could probably do it, but it is difficult. So he has to keep holding that angle, and that gets communicated back to Saw. Hey, there's an AWPer, he's holding me, and I can't get out, but it's the perfect opportunity because he's probably, you know, clocking me. So they get that kill, and then they're able to aggress in onto the site together. They cover each other's angles. They use the smokes really well to their advantage. I don't even think it was their smokes. They were just using Finest utility and turning it on them. So really solid performance there from Saw. And now hopefully they can keep going, keep that momentum going.
That's a really nice round from them. SAWMUTiRiS finally going to have the AWP on his side. We've talked about him being the main AWPer for his team. But you know what? We haven't even really seen that much out from him in regards to the AWP, so I want to see something. Arky, one of the key players here on the side of Saw, to be honest. He's been a big clutch player. SAWMUTiRiS, they're going to have a chance to be able to shoot. He misses his shot. Chucks down an incendiary grenade. Fantastic hold. They come around the corner. He's going to be able to find one, not the second one. MUTiRiS is going to get a kill down onto Pleasant over towards, well, B as well. But unfortunately, this is going to be working in favor of the T's. Oh, Kriaz is going to be able to make his way across just in time. The bomb is going to go down on towards Coffins, but this grenade is going to bounce off, take down Kriaz to about 60 HP, 49, because it was actually a little bit more direct than I expected. And now the advantage, SAWMUTiRiS is going to have to peek around the corner, potentially get this kill onto Kriaz, who has an AK-47, but it's going to be the fantastic trade-off here. MUTiRiS may well lose his life, but they're going to gain the advantage. And also the round taking it to 7-7, and once again, we're back to playing Pong.
Great usage of bait. And you know what? Ask and you shall receive. You were hoping to see a little bit more out of SAWMUTiRiS. 3 kills in that round. Yeah, you're starting to show up a little bit more here. And honestly, while he hasn't had the opportunity to bring out the AWP, particularly on this map, he's still been up there. He's still been a solid rifler, because he and MUTiRiS are up there as the top fraggers. Sorry, not the... Yeah, top fraggers this round. So they've been doing really, really well regardless. Now they've got the AWP in their hands as well. And again, kind of expecting to see a little bit more of that. But clearly, Finest talking that could be a dangerous push over towards Banana. So they're instead going to go towards A and lose a life.
Oh, Arky somehow getting out of that scenario, taking a lot of damage, and it was thanks to an incendiary grenade actually that stopped them from progressing. But Kriaz is going to be coming up from behind. MUTiRiS had his smoke out, gets caught off guard, and Arky is going to be left to try and clutch it. Over towards the A site, he's going to find the headshot over towards long. He's now going to have to do his best to find another one. A perfect flash going to be coming out. So the flash is no one actually, and Twist is going to be able to get a kill with the Mac 10. 2 versus 2. SAWMUTiRiS is going to be looking to launch over the grenade over towards site. Does a bit of damage, but he has an AWP. Actually, 0 damage, unfortunately. He's backed away in the wrong position. He's going to pick up an M4. Realizes that there's going to be a close quarters game. That Mac 10 is going to be crucial on the side of Team Finest. They're in a decent position to be able to win this one out. Pleasant going to be holding over towards short. Grenade's going to take him down to 58 HP. That is fantastic news for Saw. They still haven't got the kill on him, and the flash is out towards short. It's going to be coming through. Twist is going to be looking to find them, but he can't. It's just going to be able to get a double kill to clutch it out, and another round on the board of the CTs just in time. And we're going to go to a quick break as we're going to go through to the second half, so make sure to stick around. Exciting first half coming out, and you know, Saw somehow managed to take the dominant amount of rounds. So we'll see you guys in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
here to the second half. And that previous half went really well. We saw a really good read from Finest to know where that AWP was going to be set up, moving towards the A site, but some great aggression from sAW had them getting the first pick of the round, and they managed to shut that down quite nicely. Now we have them coming into this half at a lead. It had been pretty back and forth, but now they've secured themselves a fairly decent position.
Anarkez going to be peeking in towards mid. He's going to be able to get kills, so it's Pleasant. They're going to do fantastically well. The trade is coming through, but Pleasant just going to absolutely slaughter them. One person left standing. The bomb control on the side of Team Finest, and this is not the way sAW wanted it to go. They needed absolutely everything to go in their favor, considering they only won 8 rounds. That's just not enough on the CT side on Inferno. You need more. And Team Finest had a fantastic T side. It looks like they're going to carry that on through to this side. It's still possible for anarkez to win this. Never mind. Pleasant's like, no, it's really not. I've got 3 kills, and that's going to be good.
Yeah, that was a tough ask. I think maybe if they were isolated 1v1s, but you swing into 3 people, yeah, you're probably not coming out on top of that one. So there you go. Finest will even it out. And as you said, as much as sAW did give themselves a bit of an advantage coming into this half, it wasn't quite enough. We were expecting a little bit more firepower, a little bit more of a buffer. We spoke about how important that buffer can be. And this is interesting. I mean, I talk about the slow plays from Finest, but sAW is like taking that to a whole other level. They're really, really taking their time, deciding, you know, where they want to push into, starving some information where possible, and then slowly inching their way in, trying to bait out some of that util.
We've seen a twist chucking in the flash. Good execution from the T side, but they're now going to have to follow through with it, and they are able to get the kill, but very tagged down heavily. Twist is going to be on low HP, 3 HP in the total. Shooting at his own teammates, not quite realizing what was going on there. A little bit of fumbling around. This could cost them the round if they're not careful. Team Finest have to try and bring back the clutch towards the site. Just as in the smoke, he's going to get found. Ooh. The reload has to come through on this famous anarkez. Flash is going to be coming through. His head's going to be found. Double kill for the side of T's. 1 person left. This is going to be back and forth like the last round it feels, but Shox actually has a chance to be able to clutch us out. He takes down 1, Ooh. Takes down 2. Roman, he's going to have to do this. He's got 69 points of HP. The defuse is coming through. The fake isn't there. And what's he done? No! They've just got their vengeance. Pros don't fake. And Team Finest going to be able to get the clutch.
Oh, that is heartbreaking if he just... And it is tough. It is always so difficult to be in that position. But maybe given the timing... Maybe he could have known, could have opted to peek out. Unfortunately, he doesn't. And that's a round that was so winnable for sAW. They did very well to whittle that away. It was very close, maybe a little bit closer than what they would have wanted, but they did really well. And unfortunately, they throw it away at the last couple of seconds. That's going to be Finest winning that second round. And it is interesting because very often sAW will win that second round, and Finest clearly kind of digging their heels in a little bit and trying their best to make sure that that doesn't happen, because this has been the most closely contested first half that we've had. The other 2 first halves were near blowouts. So Finest realizing that as much as sAW needed a bigger buffer, they didn't have any sort of a buffer. Now they kind of need to create one for themselves.
Buffer is badly needed. Triaz going to be peeking down over towards Banana. Can't quite see anyone, and there's actually going to be a T coming down along a Banana passage. Isn't able to spot anyone out. Arky has already lost his life. That is going to be advantage over on the CT side in regards to manpower, but we could be seeing sAW take 4 people over towards the B site, do a nice execution, take advantage of that, and that is why we have a bit of a trade-up of players. Anarkez is going to be going over towards B with an AWP, okay, and 2 of the other players are going to go. That's a big surprise, actually, for myself. And we still see the rotation coming in from the CT side. Anarkez is in an interesting position. He could easily get overwhelmed here, I'm not going to lie, but the T's are just... they're not executing. They're just playing this very slow. Trying to be a little bit methodical,
yeah.
But...
It was kind of something that I'd seen in the previous round as well, and they keep doing that, and I quite like that. I tend to find that a slower pace suits both of these teams, really. So it's nice to see that it's almost like they clocked the AWP change up, but Pleasant doing Pleasant things.
Really well played by him, taking that early peek, and to be honest, this round is just in the hands of the CTs. I say that, you know, Twist is found, but I still just don't think they have the possibility here. They're about to get clotheslines from both sides. Shox is going to be like a little bit limited on ammo, so is Pleasant, but he still finds another headshot. Running headshot of all things, and this is just going to be a round over. SAW, unfortunately, being super disappointing, to be honest, in my opinion, in that round. They just had no commitment. They just seemed a little bit scared.
And this is the thing, like, it's good to have a slow pace sometimes when you're maintaining control, but it felt like they were just really indecisive. What are we doing? Where are we going? What the plan is? And unfortunately, it doesn't. I don't hate the idea of them moving away from the AWP, but at the same time, they were all grouped up in Banana. They could, as you said, very easily have overrun him. And unfortunately, they make the change to rotate. Now, I almost wonder if Finest kind of clocked that they might do that. And maybe that was why they made the rotation. I don't know. It's very tough to tell in these really impactful situations. Now SAW find themselves back on this pistol, and again, just wow, crazy slow play. They've sent 2 people to get a little bit of information over towards A. They've already started the rotation without the information. This could be deadly.
Grenade's going to be coming through. Rum is going to be on low HP. That grenade sound is all he needs. SAWMUTiRiS is going to be able to get the kill, and now anarkez is going to have to do a lot to be able to try and clutch us out with his fellow teammate over towards the A site. He's going to be on site with the AWP. Sadado is going to be able to find the eagle shot. anarkez through the smoke. He's going to find 1, finds 2. Looking for the 3rd, goes for the no-scope. Can't quite find it. Just is going to be able to get the kill. The bomb's going to go down. They've got 2 players in a 1 versus 2. I won't write Krios off at the moment. One of the players on the opposition is very low. He's got 3 pieces of utility. This is a lot for him. He could definitely do something with this. If he just mollies off a key place somewhere, I don't know, graveyard, he would find a kill with a single molly, but instead he's playing it slow, looking for these peaks, trying to find the first kill to even up the balance. It's going to be super hard to find himself. Just is going to be able to get that headshot. And being a key player for them this round, finds 2 of those kills, 1 on anarkez and 1 on that last player.
And that is the thing about Caster Vision. We know if he mollies graveyard, he's good to go, but unfortunately does not have that info available to him. And this is a really important round from SAW. I was concerned. They start moving over to a very stacked A site with little to no information, and they still managed to turn it around in their favor. And now we're seeing the classic SAW potential baits here, as we see quite a bit of utility over onto the A site, which again is heavily stacked, because of course this is a bit of a gamble stack. And again, SAW pushing towards A. It worked out previously. Can they make it work again?
May well just be able to do that, but Ark is going to get taken down. The pistols doing absolutely huge work. They've now got weapons to their name as well. It's going to be a 2 versus 4 situation advantage. It's going to be super hard to be able to try and recover, but they have got the gunpowder, but not the positions. And Rome's going to be able to find 1, but that's now going to be leaving SAWMUTiRiS last alive, and he doesn't even have bomb control, so he has to go and potentially pick that up if he wants to actually get the plant. If he just goes for the kills, it's going to be super hard. There's only going to be 1 rifle on the side of Team Finest, but they're playing it carefully, not overly dedicating. Kriaz with the CZ just going to be sitting on the site over towards B, chilling. Not too worried. He knows that the rest of his teammates have got it down. Now they have a complete position known on this last player. It's like, okay, cool, he's towards Boiler. We know how to play this now. Kriaz, stay there just in case. Bomb pickup is going to happen. Rotation over towards B, and this is why Kriaz was just saying that 1 spot. They know that they have A control, so they can send this 1 player over towards B, and with that CZ, it's so destructive. It's 12 bullets of absolute hell for any players that go up against them, and SAWMUTiRiS only has 15 bullets in the chamber, so he can't really afford to miss too much. Smoke's going to go down. Good thing he was able to find an extra one. He's going to go for the plant in a moment, but he doesn't realize the player right next to him. He gets it. He gets the flip round, but you can see the damage done, 54. The reload needs to happen, but he hasn't done it. He's got 10 bullets in the chamber. He only needs 2 if he hits the right shots. He hasn't planted for himself, so this is going to be super difficult. And a molly on Twist, that could cut him off from being able to do too much here, but instead it's going to go towards back of sight. He should now have a bit of extra information to know that there's 2 players going to be pushing from the same angle. He's got 54 points of HP. He hears the footsteps next to him. He's now going to have to peek up on over. I think that 10 bullet mark is going to be super difficult for him. The defuse is happening. I don't think he realizes he gets 1 kill. He now has very few. He gets it anyway. A huge clutch, the man of the hour. He did it last game. He's going to do it again this one.
The whole time, while he's in that situation, of course, I don't want to interrupt your stream, but in my mind, I'm thinking if anyone can pull off this 1v3, it's going to be him. And what a phenomenal play. That first kill, that flick, that 180-degree turn to get that first kill. And he takes a lot of damage as well. And we're kind of worried because he didn't plant for himself. And for him to play so patiently, he hears the defuse start and he knows that he can't be impatient about it. He needs to give it a second or two. And he swings out at just the right time, catches the first player, and the last player that's still busy defusing. In order to get into a position to fight back, they obviously have to get off the bomb and take out their gun again. And in that moment, in that sliver of time, because he's waiting to see if it is a fake, then if I don't push out now, maybe they'll attempt it again. So he gives that short little bit of time. Just pixel perfect timing, which makes absolutely no sense, but it makes sense to me. And he plays that very, very well. Much needed round win here for SAW. And once again, we're back playing table tennis.
Well, I thought this was CSGO, but I was definitely wrong. anarkez is in the key position, misses the shot, but hits the leg, so that's at least something. Taking down a player, any amount of HP is going to be a benefit to them, a boon, you might say. Utility-wise, both sides are looking fairly nice on this front. 10-10 on the leaderboard, a minute 20 still on the clock, so still very much at the beginning of this round, but it's going to pick up very quickly. And we're going to be seeing a lot of utility run on over towards the B site from both sides, mainly from the T side. They've just used Molly and everything else, but it's going to be anarkez and Shock's going to be able to get 2 kills over towards apartments. Big surprise turn of events. Twist is going to get taken down though. Kriyaz with the MP9 are going to chime in. He might get 2 kills. He doesn't. That is a nice trade-off though. He does a lot of damage, but not a single kill. That grenade could do more though. Not finding a kill, but Pleasant, don't do this. He's going to go through the smoke, give it a perfect position. He's going to be able to get 2, maybe even a 3K. It's not going to happen. We're back in a clutch situation with the man of the hour. Mishra is going to have to do this once again. He's like, come on, guys, I've just done this. Give me a break.
Oh, man. Finds himself in the same position again. Unfortunately, this time around, he's coming up against an AWP. And it's tougher to try to retake this with the AWP, but again, it's anarkez, and it's going to be rough for him to try to change that gun, so he might just have to play with what he has. This is in such a good spot, but cannot close out anything there. But he does buy enough time. That's the important part.
Yeah, right down to the clock, and you know, that round was crucial to them. They have to try and get these rounds on board, and their economy is actually fairly good. I was actually fairly surprised. I was about to say, oh, they're in dire straits, but nope. They're looking fairly nicely going into this next round. Better than Team Finest, even if they have got an AWP on the side. Yeah.
A little surprising to see that. Of course, bearing in mind that those 2 guns are saved from the previous round, so, I mean, their economy is still definitely in the drink at the moment. And SAW, despite coming into this at what we had called a disadvantageous scoreline, they're managing to hold their own. They have a pretty good T side here. I need to see if they can maintain that, because right now Bomb is still kind of chilling at the halfway mark. They haven't quite committed just yet. With all of this utility coming in A, trying to start the rotation over. The question is, are they actually going to commit to this?
May well see this. We're going to be seeing 2 flashes, 2 smokes. The third flashes are going to be coming out. The incendiary grenade from Pleasant, just doing a fantastic job. But he's going to get burnt alive. He loves those fires, but he's going to be falling apart on this front. It's going to be Shocks to try and clutch this out over towards the side. He's got a good position, good weapon as well. Finds another. Looking in for the second one. Can't quite find it. Roman's going to get the trade on him. It's going to be a 2 versus 2 situation. Stardodo and Roman having to clutch this out. They have they have a flash. They must have just picked that up. Twist and Kriyaz, though, they've got a lot of flashes, decent amount of utility on their side. This retake is completely possible. Both of them should be able to do this. Twist, though, no head armor, but he has got the utility kit. He's playing over towards the long position. He can't afford to go down. And it's going to be Twist finding the first kill. Nice trade-off going to be coming out from Roman, but he can't flick over, and Kriyaz is going to be able to get the kill. And a round that could easily have gone either way, going in favor of the CT side.
This has been interesting because the last few rounds here, it's been the save rounds, the half buys, the wonky buyouts that have been doing really, really well. And again, it kind of shows you just how scrappy things have been between these 2 teams. And again, I kind of just like to harken back to our first 2 maps. And what a stark difference we're seeing here on our 3rd and final map in the series. Both of these teams putting everything that they have into this last one. This was a bit of a question mark, this map, for us, given how these 2 teams perform on this map. But both of them really pulling their weight here. Unfortunately, SAW after getting themselves into a really good spot after the last few rounds, have now found themselves back in the danger zone and have to try to make something happen, going for a full rush up banana. It's relatively unguarded, but given that they are at a massive disadvantage,
Well, we're going to be seeing that full execution over towards B happening here. They may well just have the advantage, and Molly's going to be going down, but the kill's going to be coming through as well. Just going to be able to get a nice trade-off, but Twist going in for the boost, kills the bomb planter, and gets the second one as well before he has to reload. And now the rotation over towards Coffin's going to be coming through, and anarkez is going to be pushing through with the USB. Should be able to find one on this player. The bomb goes down. But so does the bomb planter in a moment if he's not careful. The MP9 shocks are going to be right up behind him. That Mac 10 is not going to be enough. He gets a headshot, but Twist, he's got enough HP to survive that. It's going to be 12-11 in favor of the CT silent. And anarkez going to be able to get the defuse.
Yeah, more or less to be expected given what SAW had coming into that round. I know that the last couple of rounds have been pretty wonky in terms of the low buys and still managing to get ridiculous amounts of value, but I think that's specifically why Finest play that round so carefully. And we also have to bear in mind that SAW just kind of ran it straight down banana, so there wasn't too much tactical shenanigans going into that. It really was just a round of, well, let's see if we can make something happen. And unfortunately they couldn't, so now we've got a few days at Eagles and not a hell of a lot more. And back to this really, really slow play style, and it has worked out relatively well for them for a few rounds, but they can't afford to take too much time. They kind of shoot themselves in the foot a little bit. We said it before, you know, they have this tendency to be really hesitant, really indecisive, and before they know what's happened, half their forces are gone.
Unfortunately, they don't really have much to play with in regards to utility this one, but they do manage to get a bit of a clip on towards Twist, but they're going to get absolutely slaughtered here by the M4s because they have, well, basically no armor, no utility. They managed to find one kill, but they're now going to be sandwiched by multiple players on the side of CT. The flash is going to be working fantastically, and they're going to get slaughtered. I didn't really see that round going in any other direction, and we're going to be seeing the 13th round for the side of Team Finest, and that was very much over and done with very quickly. But we are going to be seeing a lot of utility getting purchased this time around for SAW. 0 grenades, though.
Yeah, I mean, SAW finding themselves a little bit back in. Yeah, I think they might just be prioritizing isolation more than anything else. So, you know, smokes can do a really good job of that. Mollies to an extent, and of course flashes give you an opportunity to swing out. The grenades, I find, aren't as impactful for them. Of course they can do it, but it's not quite the same. Oh wow, that's a trade. That
is a really good position in there. They're able to get the kill onto the Orpa, who has been causing them some trouble, to be honest, but he's not been playing out of his mind. Roman has the opportunity to make his way through apartments, but he hasn't fully dedicated to it. It is a 4v4. Might just be able to find this kill. He doesn't. You had every advantage. Over towards B, we do see Just get a kill towards Kriaz, but Twist is going to be there looking to open it up against them. He's holding the other side of the smoke. He sees the foot. He takes the kill. They're going to be flashing it through, looking to do the damage versus him. They get the bomb, looking to go for the plant, but it's going to be a 2 versus 3. Counter smoke going to be going down, but the bomb has not been planted, and it's going to leave Arky in a difficult situation. This is a round that was in the hands of SAW to win, but unfortunately, they just completely failed. It fell through their fingers, and now they're going to be left in a very difficult situation. No money next round, and they have to depend on Arky being able to clutch us out in a 1v3. It's just not going to happen. He peeks around the corner, going to get slaughtered, and Pleasant feeling fairly happy for himself. And what happened?
So they have an advantage over towards the A site. They get a couple of picks in, which is solid, but somehow Roman loses that 1v1, and that was a rough one to lose. Like, he realistically should have been able to win out on that one, and he was so far away from the rest of the team that at least at that point he can give information about what's happening on the A site, but now he's no longer in play. And the team is already moving over towards the B site. Finest to figure out, well, it's not actually going to be an A hit because we just saw this one player. So they're able to rotate relatively quickly, and they just shut it down entirely. And all of that utility that they bought into amounts to naught. They can't actually get any value out of it. A rough spot here once again, because we were kind of expecting it to start going back and forth again. But it's not going to happen. They're back down into a save, and Finest 1 round away from match point. And what makes this so devastating is that match point, yes, it should be a buy for SAW, but it's still match point. I mean, they have literally nothing to work with here.
It's going to be absolutely brutal for their side. I'm a little bit disappointed in SAWMUTiRiS. They had that round in the bag, but they just weren't able to really accomplish what they needed to. They had a really nice trade in apartments, had access to an AWP if they wanted it to. They got a kill over towards B, were able to push on over there if they wanted to, but they didn't even get the bomb down. They were going for a very strange plant instead of going for plant over towards coffins or one of the other positions. He got taken down before he could do anything. Plessing over towards long to be able to find the first kill. Should be a fairly clean round from the side of SAW as long as they don't make any huge mistakes. There's a push over towards short and apartments, but that smoke should be able to help this sort this out. They're going to get slaughtered as they come out here. Roman's going to be able to get one, but the trade is going to be coming on through the bomb. It should be able to go towards site, but he has to make it there instead. Not going to be able to do that, and anarkez finally going to be able to find multiple kills. StarDodo may be on site, but the bomb is over towards pit. There's just... He was actually on short, and he peeks and gets the kill anyway, just for satisfaction reasons. He might be able to find another gun here as well, but otherwise have to do a 1 versus 2 clutch situation with a deagle. It is going to be a big ask, but he may well be able to do it with some swings and roundabouts. He's missed his shots. He's only got a couple left in the barrel, and it's not going to be enough. Krias is going to be able to get that kill and take them to 15 rounds on the board, and SAW looking a little bit depleted.
You're surprised that the deagle wins out against the AWP. I mean, isn't that standard? Isn't that normally how that works? No? Okay. Well, we had spoken about how the AWP players were not really showing up as much. They were very quiet on Ancient and Vertigo as well. They didn't really have the opportunities. And, well, StarDodo hasn't had a ton of opportunities here, but anarkez is absolutely killing it. And this is why I had to highlight him at the beginning of the broadcast. I'm really happy that we managed to come here onto Inferno, because this is where he is just dominating and shutting down SAW at every available opportunity. But now StarDodo has got the counter AWP, and this round is imperative for more reasons than I can begin to explain. That is an excellent start, because he takes down anarkez. We were waiting for the AWP battle, and once again, this is not the first time, but StarDodo comes out on top of it. That's given them a man advantage, which is so crucial in what is match point.
We could be seeing a potential overtime here if they play absolutely everything to their mind, but the past rounds just goes to show to me that they've been able to accomplish 3 rounds. It's just not enough. They have to be doing far better than this. Team Finest went into this with the round disadvantage in terms of 7-8, and they had 7 rounds, but it's definitely a CT side map, and they've been really defining that very well with their trades, their executions, their actual retakes as well have done fantastically, whereas SAW have been a little bit weak on a couple of their players. Arky is just not being able to live up to standards on the T side. He was crucial on the CT side, but even then was underplaying his value and position compared to the other players. StarDodo as well, he's been playing out of his mind with multikill, but it just doesn't seem like all the players are doing as well as they should have in this position on cars. Sorry, the bike is going to work out for a couple of seconds until the grenades come through, and going to absolutely brutalize them, and this is going to be round. It's not even going to be a try to retake from Finest. They're like, fine, have it. We'll keep our weapons.
This is fair, especially considering we are now on consecutive rounds of match point. So, you know, we'd mentioned how important it was for SAW to come out on top of this one, and StarDodo starts that out on the best possible footing, takes their AWP off the board, which they haven't managed to recover, which is also really, really important. Well, maybe not that important. I mean, they're trust fund babies. They're all good. But it does give them the opportunity that they needed to start pushing in onto the A site. So a solid round, but they need so much more. They need to dig so much deeper. One round is not going to be the difference maker here. Or, you know, maybe it is. Maybe they just completely proved me wrong, and now they just win the next 4 rounds in a row, 3 rounds in a row. I have been proven wrong many times before, but at the very least, we could be staring down in overtime. And this is similar to how we were on Vertigo, where we found ourselves on match point, but unfortunately the deficit was far larger. This is definitely doable for SAW.
Doable, but they're going to have to be a little bit more consistent than they've been able to be on the T side so far. That was their 4th round, if I'm right? Yeah, they had 8 rounds, so, you know, 8 plus 4 equals 12, apparently. Simple math. Twist holding over towards long. This is going to be a complete ace stack, and it might well just be SAW's unfortunate luck that they are going to have to try and push over towards a site. which would be a little bit unfortunate on them if they do decide to do exactly that. We'll have to wait and see what they're going to be able to do here. A minute left on the clock. Pleasant is going to be chucking a smoke up towards apartments there. Stadodo over towards... we'll see what they're going to be able to do here. He's going to be going in for a peek. Anarkez with Incendiary Grenade. Nice flash as well. This is just delaying the inevitable. There's not really too much going on here. They're just trying to set up and try to get some kind of peek, but they're not getting anything here. And unfortunately for them, they're getting pushed over towards the A site. They're doing a fake over towards B, but it's not happening. They're about to step out. The CT should be able to see them get some kills. They're going to be falling on each side. Some nice trades, but this T is going to get absolutely slaughtered. This should be it. Team Finest looking to close this out. 2 versus 4 situation. The CT set up over towards A site, and unfortunately for SAW, they just didn't know what to do, and they're going to get absolutely shredded. That grenade doing a lot of damage. Anarkez over towards Banana. He should be able to get a couple of kills here. We're going to have to play close and personal here. Finds one, goes in for the second one. He gets a no-scope. He clutches it out. GG, well played. What a fantastic play from Team Finest. SAW disappointing and going to have to go through to the loser bracket, in which we'll see them play tomorrow. And we're going to hop on over towards a break, and we'll be back to round this all out. But don't go anywhere.